As a child, I had only one pair of shoes, which were worn to church and to special school functions. At all other times, Wellington boots were the order of the day. When eventually the shoes had holes in the soles, pieces of cardboard were cut out to line the shoes, which worked very well until it rained. Then we had to spend the day with wet feet. My mother bought me a new pair of Wellingtons, green as I remember, and I was warned before I left home how much these had cost and what would happen to me if I lost them. The consequences were so dire that it would have been safer to have run away with the Wellington boots. On the way home, I got involved in a game of football in the churchyard. I was doing very well until I saw an opening and tried to send a long ball into the goal mouth. My foot hit a sunken metal railing, and although the ball found its target, my foot hit this piece of wayward metal and ripped the boot open from toe to stern. I looked down on the flapping toe and knew that my life was at an end. Everyone laughed as, Chaplin style, I made my way home, with the toe flapping in time to my walking pace. I crept in through the back door, taking off the damaged boots and putting them in their usual place by the back door. They looked quite normal, just sitting there on the tiles. But if they were moved, their grin was obvious. I stole upstairs, carefully avoiding the stair treads that creaked, and felt a great sense of achievement when I was safely in bed. Much later, my mum came home from work, and I heard her pounding up the stairs. Half asleep, I was wondering what was happening, until she burst through the bedroom door. The offending boot was held above her head. It came crashing down on me before I could get my thoughts in order. She hit me from all angles, and as I squirmed, she hit anything that moved. And she hit me with her spare fist as I fell out of bed and dived towards the wardrobe. I crawled into the small space below the bottom shelf, and although she kicked me repeatedly, I was able to prevent too much damage. Then the door was slammed, and I heard the catch fastened. I was safe, but alone for the night. My sense of relief as I heard my mother's door shut and locked was short-lived, as I realised that I would have to spend the next 7 hours in total darkness, with my knees tucked up under my chin. Well, I would like to say that I didn't cry, but of course I did. But not because I was locked in a cupboard for the night, but because life always seemed to conspire against me. However hard I tried, there was always a kick in the teeth, waiting round the corner. I remember listening to all the sounds of the house asleep, unexplained creaks and groans, heaving and shifting, scampering and scratching, nodding off, but only to wake up again a few minutes later. I tried to change my position, as my bum was fast asleep. If only I could have joined it. My legs were so cramped that the blood had given up trying to reach my feet and had taken a shortcut back to base. So my feet were now very cold and aching. I tried to poke them into the corners, but there was so little room. I couldn't move at all. Then I felt a warm, spreading sensation, which seemed to give me some comfort to my legs and feet. Blessed relief. But then quickly became cold as the urine lost its heat. Fortunately, the pee filtered down through the floorboards, so although my pyjamas were wet, I was sitting on a drying floor, with the satisfaction of knowing that the ceiling below would have a stain in the morning. Perhaps it would send a signal to those who could save me. They would come running up the stairs to see what was wrong. This thought kept me going for some time, until I reasoned that no one would look at the ceiling unless the ceiling actually fell down on top of them. I tried to produce more liquid, but my friend would not oblige. I had not had a drink for quite some time, so the prospect was unlikely. Every cloud has a silver lining. My mother left for work fairly early in the morning, so around 5:30 I was released. She opened the door, yelled something at me, and walked away. I waited as her footsteps disappeared down the stairs. I've heard the front door slam. She'd gone to work at last. I wanted to jump out with a defiant flourish, but I couldn't move, so I just rolled sideways and lay on the lino, rolled up in a ball like a human cannonball, waiting to be loaded. Gran came into view, slippers first, crinkled stockings, apron that cured all ills, and finally that kind, smiley, resigned face that said everything is all right now. She carefully straightened my legs, rubbed them until the pins and needles started, took away the soiled pyjamas, wiped my bottom and legs, applied generous handfuls of talcum powder, and popped me back into bed. Breakfast today, in bed, for a brave little soldier, she said, as she left the room. I heard her walk down the stairs to the kitchen, pots and pans scraping and tapping, the clinking of glass. Then I listened as she climbed the stairs again. Finally, a little short of breath, arriving triumphant at the achievement, to present me with a tray of a boiled egg, with toast fingers, Marmite soldiers, tea and toast and marmalade. I basked in the attention, but dreaded the return of my mother. When stability and security were in doubt, anything could happen. To this day, I never expect anything to work or expect a good result, unless the planning is perfect and all eventualities are well covered.